I get the impression that more people are familiar with the part of Feng Shui that focuses on prosperity. But the truth is, prosperity and health are deeply connected. They complement and enhance each other. In fact, they intertwine emotionally, psychologically, physically, and energetically. That said, in Feng Shui, some aspects of our environment are more strongly correlated with health and well-being, while others with wealth and prosperity. But even then, they are not entirely separate. It's all connected rather than compartmentalized. I'm Natalia Kellen, a Feng Shui and mindful design consultant. In this video, I want to talk about Feng Shui in relation to health, specifically how the places we live, whether it's a house or an apartment, influence our well-being and overall health. In this video, we'll focus more on the exterior factors. The first and most important principle in both Feng Shui and real estate is location, location, location. The land itself must have certain qualities to support good health. A quick way to visually access a healthy site is by looking at its vegetation. Are the trees healthy? Is there lush greenery or other signs of health in the land? In cities, its proximity to parks or other green or natural areas is important. Vibrancy in the land is what we want to see. But not all vibrant land is ideal for home. Take wetlands, for example. Wetlands can appear vibrant, but some of them carry an energy that's too yin in Feng Shui terms. This type of energy can lead to feelings of sadness, melancholy, stagnation, or other related emotions for those living in a house built right next to big wetlands. Staying in such an environment for too long can affect your energy and mood. But let's say you are an intense person working in a city in a very demanding and stressful environment. Then it's quite possible that living by the wetlands can provide just what you needed, a cooling off and relaxing effect. To be honest, this is a challenging topic to cover because I can only speak in general terms. In reality, every piece of land is unique and needs to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. I'll do my best to offer some guidelines. Another type of location that's not ideal for health is a house situated along a highway. And it's not just air pollution and noise pollution we are talking about, which is already a big deal, but also the fact that the energy is moving too fast. It's overly active or too young, which prevents energy from slowing down and accumulating to nourish the house and its occupants. Especially crazy locations are near highway intersections with ramps and overpasses and bridges. I don't know how one can relax here. Another undesirable location is a house that's too close to a cemetery. And no, it's not just because it might feel emotionally sad or eerie, it's more of an energy issue. Without going into too much detail, the energy around cemeteries is considered too yin, which can impact the overall vitality of the home and its residents. This isn't a complete list of bad locations, but I want to continue with the topic of land topology. The shape of the land plays a significant role in Feng Shui. An ideal site is one where the house has an open front yard, allowing the energy to gather and nourish the home, while the back is protected by a mountain, taller trees, or taller buildings for added support and stability. The land at the back is ideally slightly higher or at least the same level as the land in front of the house. In Feng Shui, the area in front of a house or apartment building relates to opportunities and wealth, while the back relates to health, family, relationships, and the ability to accumulate money. If the land behind a house slopes downward, it corresponds to the idea of things going downhill in life. The site doesn't hold the energy well, which can manifest in different ways for different people. Sometimes it affects health, sometimes relationships, and sometimes money simply doesn't accumulate. Unfortunately, this is not something you can easily fix. If you have noticed that things have started to deteriorate, health, relationships, or finances since moving into such a house, the best solution is often to find a new place to live. A similar issue applies to houses that are below street level. Beyond Feng Shui considerations, I also think that living in a house below street level can be dangerous in some cases. For example, in this photo, a red car flew off the road and hit the house. I once worked with a client who lived in a house that was both below street level and had land sloping down behind it. Here is a photo of this house. It was also very close to the street. My client shared that she could never fully relax when her children were playing in the living room, which had windows facing the street, these windows. She constantly worried that a car might slip off the road and crash through the window. Over time, my client noticed that her family's relationship and health began to deteriorate, and her husband lost his job. That's when she reached out to me. Although she didn't know anything about Feng Shui, she felt that something about the house was affecting their lives because everything started going downhill after they moved into this house. In their case, I recommended selling the house, which they did. After moving into a new house, they slowly recovered and within a few years started doing much better. That said, not everyone is influenced as dramatically by sloping land. In some ways, it depends on how strong your relationships, finances, and health are to begin with. Slight slopes are often fine, but I've never seen anyone truly thrive in properties where the land slopes dramatically downward behind the house. However, some houses on a sloped land can be special cases. For example, if there is a water in a distance or another beautiful vista, the back of the house can actually become the energetic front of the house. In Feng Shui, the energetic front isn't necessarily the architectural front. Rather, it's the direction of a strong energy that nourishes the house. In some cases, a tremendous amount of energy can come from the direction of the architectural back, particularly when there is a large body of water, such as lake or an ocean or stunning open vista. That said, even if you have a marvelous view, a house situated on a steep slope is not considered good Feng Shui. It's just too steep and dangerous. For example, in the case of this house, a landslide actually took down the deck of the newly built home. To me, this is a clear sign that the land isn't stable enough and the builder should not have constructed there in the first place. I have to admit, though, that over the last 2 or 3 decades, builders have put up so many houses in areas they simply should not have. They often buy inexpensive land that most people don't want, build large attractive homes there, and inevitably some buyers are drawn to perceived savings. Next, we also consider the shapes of the buildings you live in, as well as the surrounding buildings and structures. Are there too many sharp features pointing at your building, especially ones that you can see from the window? Like these two guys. It's like they're shooting at each other. They're in a permanent state of war. Now imagine living in one of them. How do you think it would make you feel? I'm not sure what the point of this creation either. I understand that architects often thrive for something interesting and unusual, but that doesn't necessarily mean that design is good for living or feeling comfortable. It's actually very simple. Irregular, strange, or especially sharp buildings tend to create exactly that: irregular, strange, hectic, and sharp energy. Another external feature that disrupts your ability to feel relaxed at home is road intersections. A house situated across a T or Y intersection will experience more noise and light flashes at night from car headlights. But beyond that, it's also energetically perceived as a place of danger. It's hard to fully relax in a house like this. If you find yourself in this situation, I would recommend putting up a fence or planting higher shrubs as a buffer. Another important consideration is the proximity to high voltage power lines and cell phone towers. While this isn't strictly a feng shui concept, their potential to impact health and well-being makes them worth mentioning. High voltage power lines emit low frequency electromagnetic fields, EMFs, while cell phone towers and cell phone emit high frequency EMFs. Although research is limited, some studies have linked low frequency EMF exposure to childhood leukemia, prompting the World Health Organization to classify EMFs as possibly cancerogenic to humans. High-frequency EMFs like those from cell phone towers have been associated with symptoms such as headaches, sleep disturbances, and fatigue. However, these studies are often inconclusive as it's difficult to separate effects of EMFs from other factors like air pollution, cleaning chemicals, or additives in food. I worked with people who lived near these structures, and many reported feeling more agitation, stress, experiencing frequent headaches, and struggling with sleep. The next time you buy a house or rent an apartment, try to avoid being too close to high power lines or cell phone towers. The closest you are, the greater the potential effect, and it's cumulative over time. Unfortunately, the aspects I've mentioned so far, road intersections, slow land, and proximity to power lines or cell towers, are often impossible to fix. The best remedy is simply to avoid buying or renting homes in these locations. But here is the good news. When you're ready to purchase your next home, you'll be better equipped with this knowledge. Consider it a good karma that you are hearing this information now. And to be honest, many people, even without any knowledge of feng shui, seem to sense that something is off with these locations. Sometimes intuition really is the best guide. At some point, I'm planning to make another video focusing more on the interior design aspects of feng shui that support health. So make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for my channel. And if you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up. This helps the channel to grow and spread this useful information to more people. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. See you next time.